And all our operations are guided by some subtle language. Or at least some symbolic language, not verified language. Symbolic language, like the chords of music, of guitar or piano. Our descriptions are partly for just discussing higher order concepts, and partly for real benefit of getting facilitated to steal our resources. We want to be much more greater than the master thieves, that we want the cooperation of that greatest jewel hidden in the locked box to guide us to its location. You know, a totally different process. The actual thief goes without any idea. Perhaps he doesn't get even a trace of cooperation from the jewel. But in our case, the jewel also is directly or indirectly sort of signaling us its location and space. Yeah, I said, in the case of a real thief, the jewel does not cooperate at all. It is under lock and key. It is it's a so-called independent entity. Whereas the jewel inside you is sort of inviting you, sort of giving clues and signals to you, the thief, to reach it, I said. That is also actively inviting you. But we are not able to listen to its sounds. We are not able to locate the signals transmitted by that jewel within. Nevertheless, we are somehow stimulated. That's why we are in search, you know. Knowingly or unknowingly, coincidentally or otherwise, your attention has been somehow got trapped, attracted by the beauty of that girl. The power of that jewel. So coming back to a real thief, alright, so what are the, what did you say, Nitya? Number one, the competencies or the potentialities required for a thief. You said number one, what was that?
Heightened awareness.
Yeah. How did you get that term, heightened awareness?
In relation to normal people.
My question is simple. Where did you get that concept, heightened awareness? Right now you said it or you read it somewhere?
No.
Sir, one question in between.
Yeah.
What is the concept of a word that you explained before some time?
Concepts are a mental image. You say conceptualize. When you create a word first, okay? Actually, before the word occurred, whatever that referent was observed, a certain thing, a certain entity, a certain phenomenon was observed by a certain genius individual with heightened awareness and realizes that this is not normally identified by others, especially, and then he gives a name to that and he defines that name, if it is taken as a word from an available language, and then he defines it, or he creates a new word, maybe borrowing from an existing other language like in India from Sanskrit, or in the West from Hebrew or Latin or wherever, and then he redefines that word to incorporate the nature of the referent or the nature of the mind or the perception of the mind when it comes across the referent. Get the point? That is called a concept. So most of the time in people's mind it is the concept that driving their language. That's why, for example, Nitya said flexibility as well and agility. Then I said both are actually different, though the concept is similar. But the referent of those two words are really different.
Yes.
How comes the concept is same, sir?
Yeah, that's a good question. The concept is same because they refer to the more or less the same direction of the observed phenomenon. For example, conventionally a cat is said to be very agile, or a martial artist's body is very agile. And that body can be flexible also. Because without being flexible, there is no point in agility. Therefore, conceptually they are more or less the same. But the referent of that is two different things. That is
It's
why those,
15:30.
that is why those are two words. The word was given to refer to the referent, not to the concept alone. These are all language details which you don't have to particularly bother about. The main thing you have to of your concern is you have to be really rediscover your relationship with language, which we discussed in our Genius in Self program also. Because most of the time, even if you are talking mother tongue, when you talk mother tongue, we will make a lot of mistakes. In this perspective, mistakes. And most of the time, we learn a new language based on our understanding of our mother tongue. Without the help of mother tongue, you cannot learn a new language. A new language, other than the one you speak as mother tongue. But a child learns a language by examples and ever continuing dialogues in the environment. Plus, there is a critical turning point, which I mentioned, between the age of 3.5 to 5. Some strange phenomenon happens. Suddenly the child starts speaking or creates syntax. Till then, words are just connected, sometimes correctly with the simple sentences, etc., etc. That's why our so-called genius conceptualized what you call, he did some 13-14 years of research, interviewing children, interviewing other scholars, etc., etc. No way, finally decided, no way. He said there is some engine, there is a mystery in the brain by which a child suddenly starts talking absolutely complex sentences almost at the level of the adult. Then there are improvements out of learning and experience and practice. So he named a hypothetical engine called LAD, Language Acquisition Device, in the brain. There is no other way. But biologically in the brain there is a whole area of neuronal assemblies which is called a speech area. also called by the name Broca's area, anatomist by name Broca. Some Broca only specified the apparent boundaries of the speech area. If that area is damaged, then people cannot speak. But I am not sure whether by that damage in that speech area, whether the speaking ability is lost or the thinking ability is lost. No way to clarify that. I don't know anything about that much.
Sundarji, there was a case of that child who was developed by the wolves in somewhere in UP long time ago.
Yes, yes.
And they tried to teach him language and nothing actually worked, right?
Yeah.
Because if that language device doesn't get activated in certain time, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Exactly, yes. That in the case of most of the engines of human being, the case is the same. Even for the simple eyes, if the eyes of a newborn infant is closed for some 48 hours or so, then that eyes will not work again at all. So, unless it is started, yes. So, coming back to the point, we have to rediscover our language engine and its full properties and propensities. One of the ways to develop that is to write poetry. Any writing is good, but most advantageous is writing poetry. Secondly, writing narrations, just to narrate, just to describe an object or a situation or a state or a process or an event or a phenomenon and so on and so forth. So learn to describe just what you see. Like you are trying to describe something that you have not seen. For example, how would you describe or at least delineate or list out the competencies of a super thief, a master thief, I mean material thief. So one is